La 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 la. Okay, how about now? Mic aux. How about now? Boom, boom, boom. Bro is talking to himself. That is sort of how... Yay, okay, I got it on. Oh, man. Whew, what is up, everyone? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, today, God, my bed looks messy. I don't like that. Let's see. Let's adjust some stuff. Whatever. It's a hangout, you know. It's a chill hangout. We ain't trying to do anything super special here. What is up, everyone? Yeah, so today I just wanted to talk to you guys, give you guys some updates on some stuff. Been trying to upload like kind of once a week at least, just to keep the channel going. And the Rooster Teeth video was a big one. That took a lot of work to do, and all the while I'm also working on The Noise Next Door, so wanted to give myself a little break this week, and also just chat with you guys, answer some questions, and just get to know, you know, how you guys are feeling with all the new content that I've been making, and sort of the comeback. It's delayed. Your video's behind, but we hear you. Why is my video behind? Seems delayed. Oh boy. I literally never get live streaming. Every single time something's up about it. Why is my video lagging in my stream? Lag is a... Oh, you're telling me what lag is. Thank you. How to fix lagging. Lower down the frame rate, bit rate, and resolution. Okay. I mean, it's you know, it's at 1080p. That's not super powerful. Video bit rate. What is a good video bit rate? Bit rate. 3,500 to 6,000. I'm set to 9,000. Jesus. Okay, let's bump it down to 5,000. Let's see if that helps. Ooh. Oh, yeah, let's do 3,500. Why not? Looks like that's okay to do. Welcome to the stream where I learn how to stream. Okay, set the bitrate to 3,500. Let me know if it's doing better now. The audio's actually behind. All right, let's check out audio settings. Let's see what we can fix about that. Okay, that looks normal. And I'm using OBS to do this, so OBS is like the normal one. Audio output capture. All right, well, just let me know if it's still kind of lagging. But yeah. All right, let's see what kind of questions we got. Infamous Wolf question: what are your thoughts on comic and video game adaptation? And would you ever want to do a comic or a game adaptation in your future film career? So, definitely now, I mean, comic adaptations are different because that's completely blown up. Well, maybe it's dying off now. Who knows? Because, you know, Marvel, all the superhero movies definitely were huge with adapting comic books. But now it's kind of dying off. I think that trend is... reached its peak. I think a lot of people checked out after Endgame. Oh no! Oh yeah! I wanted to show something really cool that I got. Since I'm such a nerd, I've been playing the Halo campaigns on Legendary, And hint, hint, there is actually gameplay of Halo 2 Legendary in The Noise Next Door. And I got a Jackal Sniper. A Halo 2 Jackal Sniper. This is like an original Halo 2 one that they sold back in the day. I managed to get one on eBay. I love Jackal Snipers. They are such bullshit. They are so unfair. They are broken. And they are so savage. They kill you in one shot from anywhere. I love it. Anyway, so yeah, comic book adaptations. Yeah, I think the trend's maybe dying off a bit. I think a lot of people, they were satisfied with Endgame. Eventually people do kind of get tired of it, and also oversaturation. They just kept making more and more and more of them. It got confusing to keep up. And yeah, I think it's kind of dying off with that. With video game adaptations, we're definitely seeing a resurgence of that. It sounds like the Fallout TV show is good. I didn't like the trailers, and I'm not a huge Fallout person. I've only played Fallout 3. I think I played like half of the game, but that's it. And it sounds like the TV show's good. The Last of Us TV show was something that, as I was watching, I was really happy and I was excited and I loved it. But then as it went along, some of the episodes started getting a little iffy for me. And then by the end, I kind of was left with this overall disappointed feeling. But that also is because The Last of Us, the video game itself, is already like, kind of perfect in its own way. It doesn't really need much change. And so when they did change, I was like, all right, I don't like that. My hair pissing me off. Please bring the cat too. Leo. So he's gonna be pissed that I would pick him up, but I do it anyway because I don't care. Let me go get Leo. I gotta show you to the audience, Leo. People want to see you. I got Leo. Let's move that out of the way. Hello. Hi. Love this cat. Let me try and move this down. Oh, there we go. Sweet boy. So yeah, The Last of Us TV show, at the end of the day, I think it did pretty good. Definitely messed up a couple things. I definitely did not like the handling of Joel. I think that kind of neutered him a bit. He was not as brutal and tough as he was in the game. Obviously, you can't have a TV show Joel, killing hundreds of people like you do in the video game, but I just, that gruffness, that real toughness, I think was lost a bit. The Bella Ramsey, though, she nailed it with Ellie. I think that was the best performance that really matched the character very well. He's actually surprisingly chill right now. He's not fighting me. Oh, you good boy. Wow, he usually tries to run away. He does not like being picked up. Oh boy, you're gonna fall, Leo. He's like going dead weight mode. Silly. Is Leo a bigger cat than Jerry? They were both like sizable cats for sure. Leo's super fluffy, so he looks bigger. Jerry definitely weighed more. Jerry's belly was getting it sagged a bit. With Leo, if you actually like ever hold him, it's just like mostly fur. Like he only weighs like 11 pounds, which is like average weight for his size. So they're both probably about the same. Leo has really big paws. That's the really cute thing. You are just chilling, bro. He's like half falling asleep. Aren't you? When are you getting your second cat? I don't know. I definitely want to get another cat because Leo's such a social boy. He needs companionship. He would be such a good big brother. My plan is to get a little female kitten and name her Clementine. I want her to be orange as well. Would you like that, Leo? Would you like to have a little sister? His tail's flapping. He's like going dead weight mode. Leo looks so sad and tired. He looks sad probably because he just doesn't like being picked up. But he's chilling. He's chilling. Plus he was sleeping when I got him. Can I fix the voice delay? I can try. I tried. I can look up the audio settings right now. I have a cat that's like going full dead weight on me. Oh, little boy. You happy? You don't seem happy. I mean, you seem chill. Your tail's flapping though, I see that. Alright. Who do you think brought the most entertainment, like jokes and funny moments in Deep Sheep? I think we all had our balance. I think we all provided different things. In the Left 4 Dead videos now, the ones that are myself, Camden, Connor, and Spencer, Camden makes us laugh. He just makes so many good jokes, and there's so many things he does that, you know, we don't hear when we're filming. Bye. But when I'm editing the video, I'm just like, oh my god, there's so many funny moments that he's making that we don't hear, but I'm able to include it in the video, and then we all watch it together in person, and it's like, just Camden cracks me up. He's so funny. All right. Okay, let me look at the audio thing. How to fix audio delay on OBS. Oh my god. Go to the advanced tab and check the box that says use device timestamps. Okay. Let's try that out. Advanced. What the fuck's that setting? Check the box that says use device timestamps. I don't see it. Oh, I had to scroll. Stream delay. Man. One of these days I'll actually get streaming right. Stream delay. I don't know. I don't see the thing. How do I fix audio delay? Man. All right, let's go to audio settings. Thank you for putting up with my bullshit, by the way. Someday I'll get this stuff right. It's just never been a huge focus. Okay, hotkeys. I don't know about that. I kind of just want to mic. Okay. Nah, that doesn't make sense. Man, I don't know. That sucks. I guess we'll just have to put up with the desync audio and video. All right, let's look up how to do that. You guys are helping me. I appreciate it. How to desync video and audio in OBS.
Hello, Jeremy Chapman here with a very quick tip.
We're watching a video now.
Microphone like this one.
Uh-huh.
So within OBS, what you're going to do is go to Advanced Audio Properties. Now you do that by going to this button here.
Okay.
And then you're going to see that you've got something called a sync offset. Now the sync offset is the number of milliseconds delay that the microphone will get to match up your camera, because it takes a bit longer for the camera to be encoded and decoded.
Okay.
Of your stream or Teams or being recorded. So in my case, I got to a 55 millisecond setting, line and multiple trial and error.
Okay. I changed a setting.
Do is clap to the camera like this, and then look for the spike in your timeline, and then you can align when your hands are clapping together, and from there you'll just select the
Okay.
exact milliseconds of.
All right, let me know if that's better. It had 2,000 milliseconds as the delay. I set it to 0. Let's see if that fixes it at all. Okay. Is this my first live stream? It might as well be. Every time I do this, it feels like my first one. All right, apologies for the very slow start, but okay, let's get to answering some questions. Macho Pathermax. Sup, dude? Rooster Teeth video is a banger. Thank you. What do you think of the Halo show? For the most part, I've seen dislike from the majority of people who have been longtime fans of the games. I never watched it. I knew it was going to be garbage from the get-go. It totally was not capturing what Halo actually is. As soon as I heard that Master Chief's taking off his helmet all the time, I went, cool. They did not get the point at all. And then I hear this stupid stuff about like, well, you know, how are you supposed to get attached to the character if he's got his helmet on the whole time? And it's like, Mandalorian literally did that. Darth Vader did that in the 80s. So like, yeah, it's dumb. And then I heard about the Master Chief sex scene. Yeah, no, not my Halo. Oh, it's fixed. Fuck yeah, I like that. We are back. Missed Junior Boxing. How does it feel that Jacksepticeye gave you props? It was cool. It was really cool that he watched Don't Look Away, and he did that. The video came out the day that I began shooting We're Not Safe Here. So I told everyone on set, I was like, hey guys, look, big YouTuber, millions of subscribers. He checked out Don't Look Away, you know? So that was really cool. There's Corey Kenshin. He's reacted to multiple of my films. And now We're Not Safe Here is getting a little up there, you know? It's getting more views. And so it was cool. It was cool. Definitely, I'm always, you know, hoping that big YouTubers, you know, the ones that are reacting to a lot of horror films, that they react to my stuff, that it gets out there, helps, you know, people share it. This time around, something that I've been thinking about more and more with The Noise Next Door is that the thumbnail. In the past, I've generally gone for a thumbnail that's more vague and not kind of spoilery. I don't want to show the monster, you know. But doing research, it's the monster that people click on. So this time around, I'm gonna have a scary thumbnail. I'm definitely gonna really go for it. Give you something that you want to click on, you know. So that'll be fun and exciting. My fucking hair, Jesus. All right. Some Okie Dude, welcome back. I remember you. I think We're Not Safe Here is my favorite of your horror shorts so far. Thank you. I definitely, the Noise Next Door, like straight up. Let me give you some updates on The Noise Next Door. It's going to be a banger. It's easily my best film I've ever done. Everything's stepped up in every way. Right now, I reached picture lock earlier this week, which means that my job as just the basic editor, visuals, dialogue, I'm done. I am happy with what it is, and now it has been sent off to the colorist, the VFX artist, the sound designer, and also the music composer. The scale of the post-production team has grown because I've never had a sound designer before. And then VFX, I haven't always had VFX in my films. If I do, it's just like a small part, you know, just someone that I'll hire on like Fiverr or whatever. But now it's like a whole guy, and I met him through the sound designer. So it's cool. I can feel like the, you know, everything connecting. It's fun. And I'm very excited. The Noise Next Door is going to be awesome. It's going to probably be about 13 minutes. I don't have the credits in yet, but I think it's going to reach that, which is cool because 13 is the unlucky number, the spooky number. The mind screwery was really good. Yes, yeah. I love messing with people's brains, psychological warfare, psychological horror. Yeah, I think the key with telling a horror story, and this is something that's very lost on a lot of modern day horror, in my opinion, is that people fear what they don't know. So you have to get people to question what's actually going on. You know, like if they're fully understanding, like, oh, okay, I get this. I know where this is headed. That's not scary. You know what to expect. You're not, you know, you don't actually know the thing. And so, you know, I think a lot of modern day horror, we're just so used to the typical tropes that also now they're getting too meta with it. And Scream was awesome when it came out because it revived the slasher genre. Because again, the slashers of the 70s, they were the scary ones. They were the original idea of like, hey, you can't trust normal people because a normal person could break in your house and do this and that. And it's like, whoa. Lost my train of thought. I'm zooming. But and then you know, the slasher movies, they blew up. There were so many of them in the 80s that they got tiring. It got to the point where the only way to actually do something fresh was, okay, we've already got the idea of a scary guy killing people. What about in their dreams? That was an original idea, and it immediately changed the game because you can't fight back. Like, you can't do anything in your dream world. He's in control. And then you get to like Chucky, like, oh, what if it's a doll that wakes up? But again, you know, people got used to it. So then it starts getting meta and it starts getting comedic. And by that point, it's like, where's the scary stuff? I you know, I'm used to this. Garrett Deskovic, love your vids, longtime viewer. Thank you very much for the donation. Thank you. Is it called a donation? I don't know the terminology when it comes to this stuff. All right. Yeah, mind screwery. We're going for it with the noise next door. I'm excited. Post a comment real quick. I want to hear what you guys are wondering. What do you think the plot is for the noise next door, based on the very vague things that I have hinted at? Just post your prediction as to what the film is actually about. Scott wants to leave Earth. There we go. Do you have any tattoos? And if you got one, what would it be of? I do not have any tattoos. I don't know if I'll ever get one. I'm kind of sensitive when it comes to stuff on my skin, my body, and also I'm very careful when it comes to permanent decisions. So I don't know. I don't think I'll probably ever get one. Dylan Soltis. Probably a noise next door. I don't know. The noise next door, I can't guarantee there is a noise next door, but, you know, that would be a surprise. English Bell Muffin. Hey, been a big fan ever since you were a kid. Fired video I watched on YouTube. Glad you're still on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been weird. This year really felt like YouTube had a downfall, like a legit downfall. Like, a lot of big people were like retired, you know? And I don't know, like, for me, like, I've never considered myself a YouTuber because I don't enjoy the like process of making content over and over and over again. Like, I'm definitely more of I prefer my films, my like big project that I build up to. But lately, when it comes to making the content, which would be the weekly stuff that I'm releasing, you know, the film advice stuff I'm more passionate about. You know, with How Scary, when I was doing that, I was trying to grow a horror audience. And I was trying to do it through like a fun, cheeky way of like, well, how scary is this movie? You know, like, I measure it through different categories, but then ultimately I'm also giving my review, my critique of it, because when it comes to horror, I know a fuck ton about horror, so I can talk about it forever. But it was chasing trends, sort of, that I really didn't enjoy, and the monotony of making it over and over and over again. And I don't know, like, when it comes to making the film advice videos, that to me matters more, because I really get the sense that I'm helping people. Like, my videos are doing something beyond just a review of something, you know, or trying to catch what people type in. Oh my God, I got more donations. Shaded. He just let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. Thank you, Shaded. Wow. I'm glad that I was your cherry. I don't know. Trying to do a virginity joke. How are the Deep Sheep boys? Faber Polychrome. The Deep Sheep boys are good. We still play and hang out. We play Halo a lot. Been doing that a lot. Yeah, it's been a good time. The Neo Unknown. The whole decade is a curse. Game developers are fired. Thankfully, the ones behind Hitman aren't. They're kicking ass. I feel bad for Arcane, though. Yeah, movies and video games. Those industries, they seem to be going through it right now. You know, my opinion is generally, you know, when it comes to businesses, you know, like, the bottom line is always money, usually. But unfortunately, when it comes to art, you like, real art, you're willing to sacrifice money in order to make the best art, you know? It comes from a genuine place. You're not necessarily making something because you're focused on, will people click on this? Will people search this up? We got to get in the keywords. We got to do this because we have to get people. Instead, Real art is just, I feel like I need to share this. I need to make this and make it, But in order to continue making art and to build the scale, you need money. And I think every industry kind of goes through waves of success and failure. And things kind of blow up because when it comes to corporate greed, it's a bubble. It will eventually burst at some point. And I think COVID changed everything for a lot of people. It really put things more into perspective. I think a lot of us were able to really look at the world more clearly and see sort of the ways that we're tricked and manipulated when it comes to marketing and, businesses. We struggled, but the big people didn't. They kept going on like life was normal. So it really kind of showed us what the haves and the have-nots, the differences between that. And I think people are more fed up about it now. And we're seeing the results of that years down the line. Now that COVID isn't as severe as it was, we're able to get back to normal life, and we're seeing how we don't like how things are going. I just got a $20 donation from Red Knight 821. Thank you so much. Holy shit. I don't know if I've ever... That's crazy. I'm gonna read through all of the predictions of what The Noise Next Door is about. My prediction: main character is hearing strange things next door, but it's all in his head somehow. I've been watching you since you announced Deep Sheep Season 2, and I binged everything after. You've given me so much. That's actually really cool that you started watching me later on than most people. And it was Deep Sheep Season 2, because that's an example. Like, Deep Sheep Season 2, like, I poured my heart and soul into that. The Deep Sheep crew, like, we really, it was a lot, and... the whole time we were making it, we were aware of Deep Sheep Season 2 probably not going to get a ton of views in the grand scheme of things. I feel like I've always been very clear that money and views do not dictate how I do things. I try not to let it dictate how I do things. Otherwise, I would still be making Nerf to this day, but nope, I felt it was time for me to move on. Revelo, £5 donation. I think that's the pound symbol. Would you ever experiment with other genres of film other than horror? So yeah, definitely. I of course love action. I did a lot of action back in the day with Nerf, but the problem is action be expensive now in the professional world because it's all about safety. You need to hire stunt coordinators, safety coordinators, a ton of stuff, and especially in like LA, there's so many restrictions. So like if I wanted to have a prop gun, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. So yeah, I definitely would like to do action again at some point, but not anytime soon. I need to gather my crew, get the crew bigger, expand with that. And I just, horror's my favorite. It's my bread and butter, and it does help to stick with a niche early on when you're like more unknown, so that's why I'm sticking with horror. All right, let's see. Jenna, hi Jenna. I think it's some paranormal noises happening next door, or maybe it's figurative, like a noise happening like next door in your mind or something. I don't know. Okay, so we got two different people saying that maybe the noise isn't actually real and that it's in the main character's head. Some Okie dude said neighbor's a serial killer, lol. Possibly, very straightforward. Oh, temporary ink that is. I don't know. I don't really know what that means. Paranoia involving noises, Joshua Pinney. That's very, that's reasonable. Nick Productions, a ghost making scary noises in an apartment. Okay. We got a ghost. It's not real. We got a serial killer. Hungry Moon 20, a very spooky noise complaint. I mean, yeah, that's accurate, I guess. That's a good one. A very spooky noise complaint. It's funny. Spooky is like, ironically, I find the word spooky not spooky. Spooky kind of makes me laugh a bit, It's like, you ever try to say like the word bubbles angrily, Like bubbles. It just doesn't work. It's funny. And then that's where I'm like, dude, this place is so spooky right now. It's like, it doesn't work. Spooky. It's a funny word to me. It's silly. Shaded again, donating again. Oh God, what the heck is going on? What are the people in Deep Sheep doing right now? Bing. What are the people in Deep Sheep doing? So Spencer is working for a editing production house right now. He's been working there for like 2 years, something like that. It's been a bit. But yeah, he's editing like commercials and stuff. He's doing really cool stuff. Connor, I don't think is in film right now. He does a lot of service industry stuff, but he's just like building up, you know. He's really going for it. Camden, he was working on a lot of film sets. I know that the strikes have made things difficult, so I'm not exactly sure what he's really up to right now. And then haven't really been keeping in touch with Alex, Nathan, and Pele. Haven't really spoken to them a ton, so I'm not exactly sure what they're up to. Although I know Alex recently, we were texting, he is working, I think, at a casino now, which is really cool. I'm like, whoa, I've never met anyone who works at a casino, so that's awesome. And definitely sounds better than working at his previous job, because that very, very difficult job. And I know Nathan maybe he still is, working for a water company, but he's like an IT guy, which makes sense. Nathan has always been just like that savage computer bro. He just knows his stuff. All right, let's see. What the? The Neo Unknown. The only action film I remember Seacox 97 owning on Blu-ray was the Bourne trilogy on his apartment tour. Action films are so dull these days. So yeah, I mean, action, you know, people have already complained that a lot of modern action movies, American action movies, it's all shaky cam stuff. Unfortunately, the Bourne trilogy started that trend. Maybe not started, but it popularized it for sure. And then people copied it. And the problem is the shaky cam worked in the Bourne series because we were seeing it through the perspective of a normal person who doesn't understand, you know, combat like that. Like, these are specially trained, you know, assassins fighting. So it's going to be hectic. It's going to be hard to follow. But the way that it's shot is deliberate. It's not using the shaky cam to hide the fact that the actors don't know what they're doing. Because if you watch behind the scenes, the actors knew what they were doing. They were legit. They knew how to fight. And the shaky cam aided instead of took away. Instead, I know the Taken movies are very, hey, Taken away, hey, it matches. Taken definitely took away from its own impact, because I'm sure Liam Neeson, he is an older guy. You know, that classic clip of him jumping the fence, and it took like 30 cuts just to see him jump over a fence. Yeah, I think a lot of, you know, some filmmakers will use the shaky cam and rapid editing style as band-aids to, you know, fix the scene, because it didn't look great when they initially shot it for a multitude of reasons. So it's a shame. But, you know, there's still a lot of good action out there for sure. Do I like gory horror movies from Shenyang Plays? I don't, well, gore doesn't, like, gore's cool, you know? Like, I can watch the, you know, Saw movies and be like, oh, wow, that was really good blood effects. That was really cool. But yeah, I need substance, my gore. I need the story, characters that I care about. That's why they're called characters. I don't know if anyone's made that joke before, but I just did, so mark it down. That's where, again, you know, horror, the idea of actually witnessing gore in real life is terrifying. You know, it's ironic that when it comes to censorship of media, you know, whoever, oh no, I see my thing. Okay, it's back. It's ironic that we really heavily censor things like nudity and sometimes swearing. But then when it comes to blood and gore, you know, like The Walking Dead is the most famous example. That TV show is so bloody and gory. I mean, season 3, you literally get a close-up of, you know, a pregnant mother having her belly cut open. You know, it's so brutal. But they never said fuck in The Walking Dead. Never could do that. Couldn't show a nipple. Nope, bad. And it's ironic because everyone in the world says the word fuck at some point in their life. They hear it at some point in their life. Everyone in the world sees a nipple at some point in their life. Not everyone sees mother getting cut open. Not everyone sees heads being blown up. But somehow that's the okay thing that we see in The Walking Dead and other media like that. Doesn't make sense. You know, that's where, when it comes to gore and horror, you know, that is like extreme. You can really mess with someone's mind if the gore is related to a character that we really care about, because it hurts. You know, it's like, oh my God, this is so horrifying. No, like, I love that person, and oh my God, I can't believe the movie's doing this. But when you have, you know, torture porn movies like the Saw series that just rely on gore as the fun carnival ride aspect, you know, that's why people went to the movie, because they want to see people die brutally. It's like, this isn't horror anymore. We're not horrified. We're excited to see it, and it's not scary. So for me, I need substance to my gore. That's where a movie like Martyrs really messed me up. Martyrs is an extremely bloody, gory film that does not shy away from stuff, and it's brutal. The original version, the foreign version, definitely don't watch the American remake. In general, don't watch the American remakes of horror movies, because it's going to be watered down. Ooh, EDAC 40. It's a crackhead living in the walls. I don't know why the crackhead made me laugh. That's another good prediction. Interesting. Different prediction, too. Let's see. Ooh, Aquatic Zen. Were you ever a fan of Raka Raka? They did action stunts on YouTube, went on to make Talk to Me. Yes, I watched a good amount of their big videos back in the day, like the Lord of the Rings versus, I think it was Harry Potter, or maybe Game of Thrones, I forget. And then there was like Halo versus Call of Duty? They had like a bunch of them that were just like, oh, this is so cool. Like these two juggernauts of, you know, media fighting to the death. Brutal. Awesome. Yeah, no, yeah, they were insane. I don't know how they were able to trash that house over and over and over again the way they did. That was epic. And then yeah, they did what I want to do. They went from making YouTube videos and YouTube shorts to making a full length feature film, and they did horror, which is cool because as far as I never knew that they did horror at all. So it was interesting that they went from crazy comedy action to horror, straight horror. So that was really cool. That's definitely super inspiring. Would you consider Faber Polychrome? Would you consider making more tier lists of your videos now that you're kind of back? Maybe. I would only want to do. Maybe I've considered doing a tier list of my horror films. And I think, you know, now I'm just thinking about like what can I make that has substance to it, I guess. So the film advice videos are very substantive because I'm offering advice, you know, to people not only who want to do film, but I also try to have my advice be applicable to most artistic fields. And the tier lists, you know, they're fun to like reminisce on my past stuff. I can offer behind the scenes look into things. I definitely think after The Noise Next Door, I might do a tier list of my horror films and just really go over what I was seeking to accomplish with each film and where I think I didn't succeed. Because, you know, the fun part is usually when you make a film, you're very proud of it and you consider it your masterpiece and the greatest film you've ever made. And I literally have proven that because earlier in the stream I said The Noise Next Door is going to be the best film I've ever made. But then you move on and then you make something else, and, you know, or you watch it again a year later and you see some mistakes and you see things that you could have done better. And that's a sign that you're growing, you know? Yes, you always want to make the best film you've ever made, but that doesn't mean it's only ever going to be the best film you ever make. The whole goal is everything you make is going to be the best. So that'd be cool to reminisce on my horror films and critique them. Scott wants to leave Earth. When are the Walking Dead comic summaries coming back? Never. Sorry, I'm not doing that. I love that some people still ask about that series, though. Okay, Levi, I'll answer your question even though you're spamming it. What are the 5 things you shouldn't do in a Nerf war? Well, there's actually 30 things that you shouldn't do in a Nerf war, and there's this really cool series on YouTube that goes over all of these. It's called 10 Things You Should Never Do in Nerf war, and then, you know, that kid made a sequel, and it was another 10 things, because he was like, hey, I actually got more. And then he was like, I'm actually going to do another one, but it'll be the final 10 things. And I think it's a cool series. You should check it out. Let's see here. Oh, Rencolance. Probably mispronounced it. 2 questions. Fellow Fullerton native here. What up? What's been your favorite part about living here? Also, have you ever thought about shooting a future project on film? living here's chill. It's definitely more affordable than a lot of places in Southern California, so that's a big reason why I am staying at the place that I'm at right now. And yeah, it's chill. It's nice. And then, have I ever thought about shooting a project on film? Yes, I don't know the ins and outs fully of shooting on film. That's definitely more, I think, something that my cinematographer would, go over with me, because I do know it is more difficult. Like, everything's going to be slower. It's going to be a bigger process. I think I would want to save that for later when I've really gotten into a good groove and I can afford to, take my time more with stuff. And I feel like if I do one, I would want it to be a period piece, because film just has that aged feel to it. It reminds you of like the 70s, the 80s, like that. Maybe if I ever made a 70s horror film, I'd want to shoot it on film to really capture that style, because it's such a cool, dirty style, Randy Moody donated as well. Thank you. Fatso the God, will I ever see Nerf Gun Zombie Apocalypse the finale? You were my favorite YouTuber since I was 7 years old. I'm 21 now. I will always want to support you, fellow Marylander. What up, Maryland? Shout out. Love crab. It's so funny. People out here don't understand Old Bay. It's bussin'. I haven't put Old Bay on salmon. I've been cooking a lot of salmon lately, but I do love my salmon rub that I get from Trader Joe's. Maybe I should try Old Bay on it. Is that blasphemy to put Old Bay on salmon? I don't know. Old Bay's just good with any kind of seafood. I don't know. Anyway, the question. Oh yeah, will you ever see the Nerf Gun Zombie Apocalypse the finale? So, I tried making a video a few years ago, basically story time mode of talking about Nerf Gun Zombie Apocalypse, the conclusion of that. The problem is, and like Spartan Super Soldier, same thing. I had a habit of really expanding too much with my ideas and stories, and I would just, I would burn out. And so the idea of, will you ever see the finale? It's like, well, it's not a finale. It's like a whole other series, basically. Spartan Super Soldier, so much. And then Nerf Gun Zombie Apocalypse. Like, I had a part 3 in mind, but then I also had a whole other Nerf Gun Zombie. I think it was called Nerf Gun Zombie Redemption. And yeah, I don't know. Like, obviously, just me story time telling doesn't do it justice. Also, whatever story I had planned, I don't remember it really anymore. And I'm sure it was bad because I was a kid, coming up with ideas. So, unfortunately, that's something where I just don't know if I will ever revisit it, because at the end of the day, it's not going to be at all what it was. So it's really just, what does adult me think kid me would have done? Maybe. I don't know. So unfortunately, I can't guarantee I will ever, finish that series. Obviously, I'm never going to make another Nerf video, and I'm never going to make another Nerf Gun Zombie Apocalypse video, because everything's different now. I'm an adult, so that would be part of the story. Oh, I think the noise, Bowtie Master 117. I think the noise is just a neighbor working on their house, but the main character struggles with social anxiety and paranoia, which manifests in fear of the noise next door. Ooh, we went more drama, mental health route. Interesting. Okay, I like that. I like that idea. Luck, is it possible? What's up? Did any of your own experiences inform writing The Noise Next Door, like with Sweet Dreams? Pretty much everything I've ever written comes from some type of experience for myself. With The Noise Next Door, it was just like one day I woke up and I was just like, I got it. I got the idea. And it harkens back to Knock Knock, because that film was a noise. That was the point of the story, was a character hears a weird noise and goes to investigate. This one, though, as well, it's because, if you ever do apartment living, sometimes you hear weird shit. Sometimes you hear some weird thumps and stuff. There was actually one time, it was really cool. I had already written The Noise Next Door, and I had a couple friends over, and it was pretty late at night. It was like midnight, and we're all, hanging out, chilling. I'm telling them about the idea, and out of nowhere, we just hear down the hall outside of my apartment, and it was like it sounded like an adult running, and because it's late at night and stuff, it was just like, what the, okay, it wasn't anything. We figured out it was just someone running, but for a quick second, it got us to jump, and I'm like, Noise Next Door. That's what it is. Seba boy, take a sip. Remember to hydrate. You got it. I call this my emotional support water bottle. I got sick. I got sick a bunch of times in a row recently, in like November, December, January. I just kept getting sick, and I had the flu. And I needed water with me at all times, so I just carried this with me everywhere. And I kept losing it, too. I keep forgetting it. And every time I didn't know where my water bottle was, I'd get a little upset. And so my friends were like, yeah, I mean, you can't go, anywhere without your emotional support water bottle. It is, though. Garrett Deskovic, viewer, when will a video be done? I don't know if, and then Chris, when it's finished. Correct. Well, it's not when it's finished, it's when it's done. When it's done. Eternity 756. What horse are you going to make next? Short. My favorite one is Don't Look Away. I have ideas for another one after The Noise Next Door. What I think I might do, though, because I have an idea and I fucking love it, but it's going to be big budget. Like, I'm going to need like $10K to do it. So I think what I'm going to do, I have a lot of other ideas, and I'm trying to make simpler ideas. I need to build, the crew, the resources, the views, to make them more, I need to get some kind of return on investment of the films that I'm making. So I think I'm going to try and make some shorter, simpler horror shorts for a bit before jumping back into something big. Because The Noise Next Door is big. I said it early in the stream. It's going to be like 13 minutes long. It's going to be the longest horror short that I've made. It's funny how like 12-ish minutes have become my average. 3 times in a row, basically. We're Not Safe, Your Abby's Monster, and The Noise Next Door. Basically all the same length, which is interesting. Ooh, Oliverius, do you have a hot take on The Lord of the Rings? Like an element that everyone likes, but you hate? So, as you can see in the back there, Return to the King, my favorite movie of all time. I fucking love Lord of the Rings with all my heart. I despise The Hobbit, and I never watched The Rings of Power because, much like the Halo TV show, I could tell it wasn't going to be good. So I never watched it. Hot take on Lord of the Rings. I mean, there's like the normal stuff that people joke about, like plot hole related things like why didn't the Eagles just fly them to Mordor, which is, you can understand it. I mean, Fellowship of the Ring basically explains it because Gandalf refuses the ring because the ring has a mind of its own. It can hypnotize and manipulate the people around it and corrupt them. And so a powerful being like Gandalf or the Eagles, because the Eagles aren't just Eagles, like they are, mystical beings, the ring could take them. They would come corrupted, and now it's in the hands of someone dangerous, which is why that's what makes the Lord of the Rings so special, is because at the end of the day, it is just a small little hobbit with, no power at all is the one who can save the world. And that's the idea that you don't need power and strength and all this stuff to, succeed. That's what the villains do. The villains are, I have a giant army, I have power and control and fear, therefore I will win. I am the best. But when it comes to the heroes of the story, what we learn is that it's the ability to believe in each other and be brave and courageous, and friendship, bravery, like all of that. That's what actually makes you a hero, and that's how you win. That's how you succeed. It's not about how tall you are, how strong you are. You can still be a 3'8" hobbit, and still save the world. So as long as people believe and hope, it's so special. It's so special. The Eagles can't fly them there for that reason. I guess also, I don't know, like the internet loves shipping things, so everyone constantly says Frodo and Sam are gay. And like, yeah, they say each other's names a fuck ton. It's always Sam and then Mr. Frodo. They say that a billion times. But I just, I think, sexuality wasn't really a thing with Lord of the Rings, at least the movies. Because, first of all, Lord of the Rings is love, not sex. Like the idea of like, when it comes to those things, I believe they can be separate, but ideally you want them combined. You want love and sex to be like together. I don't know how the fuck I started talking about this with Lord of the Rings, but anyway, that's what the internet does. So to me, it's more just that Sam and Frodo are so fucking close. They love each other. Like, they are brothers. And I think people like to ship it more as like, oh, they're a couple. And it's like, that's just not what Lord of the Rings is about, you know? Like, the coolest, hottest, most masculine character, Aragorn, he straight up is just like, nah, I just love an elf. Like, we're just intertwined together as like destiny, basically. And like, you know, he's just like, he was never once tempted by Éowyn when Éowyn's, you know, throwing herself at him. He's never tempted at all because his mind is on more important things. Like the whole point of the Lord of the Rings is like, you know, love is just something that happens. It's, you know, so I don't know. I just kind of think people are missing the point when they say things like that. You can still joke about it, of course, like it's funny, but I think when it comes to men showing each other affection, just friendly affection, platonic affection, you know, I think people are quick to jump to that's gay, which is stupid because first of all, doesn't matter. Second of all, gay's not bad. So why is that a thing that has to be jumped to as a label, you know, or joked about as well? You know, it is kind of funny. It's interesting that the shipping of Sam and Frodo is funny, but it's like, is it only funny because they're guys? You know, I don't know. There's a lot of conversation to have about that, but that's always been something that kind of bugged me in modern day discourse with Lord of the Rings. People just constantly joking about the two dudes being gay, and it's like, that's not the point. All right. Yeah, unintentionally, sure. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, what about the pros and cons about the standard and the extended editions? Extended editions are the best no matter what, forever and always. I mean, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Return of the King. Well, I mean, okay, spoiler alert for, you know, just fucking la la la. Saruman, the conclusion of his character. We don't know what happened to him in the original versions. You gotta watch the extended versions to find out. And Christopher Lee was pissed when that scene got cut. And it's like, I get it. But also, the movies are long, you know? The theatrical cut of Return of the King is 3 hours and 20 minutes. You don't get a lot of movies out in theaters with that kind of length, especially in 2003. But yeah, extended editions all the way. I can understand some complaints about it messes with the pacing a bit, but I just think, you know, if you really like Lord of the Rings and you really want to dive into it, the extended editions are just the best. Like, they offer the most detail, the most backstory, the most world building. It's just everything. So, yeah. Oh, the Neo Unknown, a fan of Lord of the Rings. Remember when you did one of the voices from Lord of the Rings in Panic? First date. What voice was it? It was Gollum. Little precious. It's the precious Gollum. Or the precious. I love doing the Gollum voice. And it's funny because I used to do that. Like, total kid me did those voices of the Elmo voice a ton to impress people. Very silly. Do you use AI normally? Gustav 1832. I am starting to use AI a bit, you know, with AI generation of pictures and kind of playing with, you know, including some of it in my thumbnails. In fact, the Life After Film School thumbnail, the person in the back, like, your graduate, that was AI generated. So I like to use, I'm playing around with it, just kind of using it every now and then to kind of spice up some things. And what's nice about it is, like, I own it technically because it's not owned. So, you know, yeah, I could look up a picture of a graduate on Google, but then it's like, I don't own that image technically. I could get in trouble. But AI generated, no one owns it, so I get to use it. Monkey Chulo, when's the next Left 4 Dead video? Sometime later this year. We're cooking. We're gonna do the passing next, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good. Truth, thoughts on Walking Dead? That show turned downhill real fast after season 7. Yeah, it's literally The Walking Dead now is a walking corpse that won't stop. It is undead. It died long ago, but it's still up and moving. Nick Productions, hey, do you use Midjourney or Stable Diffusion? I do not. I don't know what that is. Ooh, the testy duck. What do you think is the border of ethical AI use? I really enjoy using it, but I don't want to be using it in a way that harms content creators like voice actors and artists. So, yeah, voice acting's a big one, and I do voice acting. I have a Fiverr gig for it, so it does piss me off when I hear, people say, "Oh, we could just get an AI voice to do this stuff now." Obviously, right now, AI is not good enough to fully replace humans when it comes to certain things like voice acting. The intonation and all that just doesn't work. The problem is, when it comes to new technology, the goal is that the new technology allows us to create what we have been creating already, but easier. It's a powerful tool that allows us to expand. CGI was a huge help for films because before then, you're limited. You can't do certain things. You can't really take us into space. But then the problem is, those powerful tools eventually are used as more convenience and they become a crutch. At the end of the day, to make real art, to make something that matters, it is hard work. So if you're going to be skipping steps, then, it's tricky. Because also, movies were cut before with scissors, and we didn't have computers. So editing programs saved the world with filmmaking and, expanded the door so much. But also, I just kind of think it's out of our control. When it comes to new technology, it's always going to be adopted. Things are always going to change. People are going to misuse it. People are going to use it for nefarious reasons, to trick people. It's just how it goes, It's just more of, all right, accept that it's going to be a reality, learn how to use it properly, and, at the end of the day, what I've been learning with making The Noise Next Door and any other future horror film that I make, any film at all, you cannot create the perfect thing that you are trying to create, especially when it comes to something like film. It's a collaborative medium. You need to find the right people who know how to do certain things better than you and let go of your ego and accept that I can't skip all these steps, So I could have done an AI generator for, because there's multiple phone calls in The Noise Next Door. I could have done that. I could have gotten an AI voice to just quickly say a couple lines, but no, I wanted to hire someone because I want it to be real. Vib is tag. Thank you for the donation. Maybe The Noise Next Door is about the protagonist is stuffing from paranoia. Okay. The protagonist is suffering from paranoia or maybe PTSD. P.S. First ever time doing super chat and it was worth it. Thank you. You burst the cherry. Thank you. I think there was another cherry we burst earlier in the stream. That's cool. Thank you. That's also another. We're getting a lot of interesting predictions for what The Noise Next Door is about. We're getting some mental health related stuff. We got more like it's not an actual noise at all. We got a ghost. We got a serial killer. We got a crackhead living in the walls. I like that. Truth, how do you find living in California now? I had to move out of LA since rent became so bad. Yeah, LA's really bad with rent. I live in Orange County technically, and I have a pretty good deal with the place that I have. So yeah, money, it's tricky for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm out here meeting people now. I'm really, I'm trying to capitalize on the place that I live in now and just being more in tune with the world. I've been too much trapped in my little bubble of online. Jabes, would anyone be down to see Robert Kirkman make an animated Walking Dead series that stays 100% true to the comics? Perhaps a different company like Amazon or HBO takes it on. See, that's the tricky part because The Walking Dead already got made, and it wasn't fully adapted, clearly. They messed up a lot of it, and the comics end great. The comics have such a wonderful conclusion. I don't know. It's also just like, just read the comics. You don't need it to be adapted into an animated show because there's nothing new to tell with that, that's sort of the issue I think a lot of readers have when it comes to any kind of book being adapted into a movie or something. The details are cut out. You end up losing stuff. Yes, you gain the visuals, the characters come to life, and very often they can bring something new to the table. but at the end of the day, you end up kind of losing stuff when you're adapting a book. That's where I'm so excited for the House of the Dragon, because I loved season 1, especially after the way Game of Thrones ended. I was very cynical, but they really just they nailed it. I'm so happy, and I think a big reason that show is doing so well is because the source material isn't a book. It's like a couple chapters of a book, and they're adapting those couple chapters into 3 to 4 seasons. Like, we're getting so much detail, and what's extra cool is that those chapters are told through the perspective of like scholars or like historians after the fact, and they all have different opinions on what happened. So when it comes to an event like, oh, this person died, one narrator can say, yeah, they were murdered, and then another one can say, actually, they, it was a plot, like they actually faked their death or something like that. And that's what's so cool, is the TV show is able to like definitively give us the truth. So we're actually gaining. We're not losing material. We're gaining material. And I think that's super cool. Fats of the God, thank you for the donation. And also your first super on the live stream. Can we get a cherry in the chat? Can we get emotes? There we go. I could give you a cherry blossom. Combat 97, the noise next door is just king ass ripper. Farting on his wall loudly. I don't know who king ass ripper is, but you got it. That's the plot, definitely. Luke top secret, dude, it's 6 a.m. Dude, maybe for you. It's 1 p.m. for me. Truth, would you consider Breaking Bad a top 5 TV show of all time film-wise? Yes, definitely. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul, I recommend Better Call Saul to everyone. If you liked Breaking Bad, yes, Better Call Saul is not as flashy and not as, initially, it's a little more comedic. And it's a little harder to see the full picture of Better Call Saul when you're first watching it. With Breaking Bad, right away, it's like, oh, got it. He's got cancer, and he's, okay, he's going to cook meth for his family before he dies. Boom, right away. Like, you understand. With Better Call Saul, it's a prequel, so you already got... Oh my god, there is cherries! What the fuck? I typed in cherry in that email. This is silly. Oh, I think the word for this one is cherries, because it's 2. Because I typed in chair, and it shows up. Yay, we're getting cherries in the chat. Ha. Sorry. Get a... Just snorted. What was I talking about? Lost my train of thought. Oh, Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, all that stuff. Yeah, writing off the charts. So amazing. Also, Better Call Saul has a lot of really good characters. There's a lot of cool characters in that show. New characters, too. Like, I love them. Because... at the end of the day, I think in hindsight, Breaking Bad, without Walt and Jesse, that show would not have been as big, clearly. With Better Call Saul, there's so many great characters. It's like impossible. Obviously you have Saul Goodman. Jimmy McGill is his actual name before he becomes Saul Goodman. He's awesome. And the main character, of course. And Mike Ehrmantraut, he's the other main character. We get to see sort of some of his origins, which is really cool. So, yeah, Breaking Bad, awesome. Better Call Saul, awesome. Some of the best writing of anything ever. Character building as well. Character writing, just off the charts. Amazing. Like, you really feel like they're real people. You learn so much about them. There's so much to unpack, and so much that you get on rewatches as well. It's amazing. We're getting eggplants and peaches now. Great. Turned the chat into a smut fest. Oops, my bad. Ooh, hello, no one. The noise next door is the greased up monkey spanker. Maybe I got him. I love that moment. And because for those who don't know the reference with that, Sean was a friend of ours in like the classic Minecraft videos, and he called his character, his Minecraft skin, Greased Up Monkey Spanker. Don't know what that means, but then we ended up referring to that skin as that name, and like it was just automatic. That's what the skin was. And so in the final episode of Deep Sheep Season 2, we're playing Trouble in Skin Town. So there's traders out there, and we don't know who's who. We see, I running around, and I witness a Minecraft character with the Grease Up Monkey Spanker skin kill someone. So immediately I'm like, they're the traitor. And then they run up to kill me. And instead of me saying, Boxer Steve or something, quick to actually define what it is, I'm saying, Grease Up Monkey Spanker, Grease Up Monkey Spanker. I'm literally saying the longest like version of trying to illustrate to everyone else, this is who the traitor is. And then I die, and it's great. Ooh, Liam Kuzan. I'm in the middle of watching Game of Thrones right now, and I was wondering what long-running TV show you recommend I watch next. Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, they're amazing. If maybe you're not looking for something super long, Succession, 4 seasons. Succession, new gold standard. Like, I'm addicted to it. Succession's just been so amazing. It ended beautifully. It's just fantastic. I cannot recommend Succession enough. If you're looking for the inner betrayal, political family drama of Game of Thrones, but it's set in modern day, and it's big corporate moguls, that's Succession. Succession as well. I think Succession's the best acted TV show I've ever seen. Literally, like, you cannot name only one actor that's like the standout. Every actor's the standout. It's ridiculous. Jeremy Strong, Kieran Culkin, Sarah Snook, Brian Cox, Matthew McFadden. I think that's how it goes. Like, it's just amazing show. Can't recommend it enough. Fatso the God donated again, I think. Why don't you try to make NGZ... Oh, Nerf Gun Zombie Apocalypse continue? You can keep the original story, but then time jump years later, release a 10-minute teaser. You will get views and love. I do love. Again, it's... Well, first of all, I don't want to do Nerf again. I'm done with Nerf. I've moved on. But then also, it's just... I don't know. Like, I think there's a time. There's an era to do a story, and once the time has moved on, yeah, I could do a time jump, but it's not the same story then, it's something else entirely, and my heart's not in it. That's the big thing. If my heart was in it, then I would actually feel like I could make it good, but if my heart's not in it, and I'm only making it because people want me to make it, I just feel like I won't actually make it good, because my heart won't be in it. Asamoki dude, I tried Succession. I couldn't get past all the camera closing in. It was like The Office, lol. Well, that's the point. It's shot in a documentary style to make you feel like you actually are there, and like these sorts of things actually go on in everyday life. If the film, if the TV show was shot in a more cinematic style, it won't actually feel as realistic. But because the camera's constantly zooming in, it feels like a documentary, like you're just there and this is actually what goes on. And that really adds to the realism and power that the show has. Shinra, do you have any advice for a high schooler, me, who's considering going to film school? Make films. Just make films. Meet people. Meet other people that want to make films. Make films. Make films. Make films. That's it. I mean, film school is just a step. It's going to give you access, hopefully, to people and equipment, and also classes and, mentors, teachers that know a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it's your experience is what's really going to teach you the most with film. So keep making films, keep being on film sets, keep helping other filmmakers, just connect. That's what it's all about. Truth, have you grown out of gaming? I feel like games today have no passion behind them and merely are microtransaction casinos. Modern games can't compare to games 10 years ago. Yep, I agree completely. Yeah, I have not really, I just play like Halo and Left 4 Dead and Minecraft. That's like, I just keep going back to the same old games. I love Towerfall. Me and my friends, whenever we're hanging out in person, we play the fuck out of Towerfall. So much fun. Yeah, games aren't really the same. I did love God of War, and I was playing God of War Ragnarok, but I kind of, I got tired because I binged played God of War 2017, and I loved it. and then immediately jumped into God of War Ragnarok, and I got a little tired. So I'll beat it at some point. I got like halfway through the game, I think, but it was awesome. So those games are good. And I did love The Last of Us 2, Last of Us Part 2. A lot of people hated it. I could go on for hours about why I love the game, but I also, quick summary is it is extremely flawed. It's an extremely flawed game, but I think it nails a lot of things that it was going for, and then some of the things that it was going for, it didn't succeed, and I honestly kind of don't know how you could succeed with what they were trying to do, specifically when it came to the story and the pacing. I don't know how you fix those issues. Buffalo donation. Hey man, super excited with the noise next door, man. Interested in any horror movies you suggest for beginners in the genre. Hoping to see you more. So, I did make a little series that was kind of fun on How Scary, where I went over 3 different horror movies that I would recommend. The first one is good for beginners. The second movie is good for regular horror people. And then the third one is good for the hardcore people who want to see some messed up stuff. So that's, a helpful little series that you could check out. It's on How Scary. I forget what it was called, like Mixed Bag or something like that. But off the top of my head, Get Out is really good, I think, as a beginner horror film. Something that, has a very clear-cut story. It is good, gets you thinking, psychological horror bit, with just like, what's actually going on? I'm kind of creeped out. And it's not too hardcore with certain things, but definitely spooky, scary, and freaky at times. Get Out is a good beginner horror film for sure. Trying to think of other. I'll stick with Get Out as my recommendation, maybe for a beginner horror film for now. The Neo Unknown. Wait, you have a PlayStation? Thought you had an Xbox. Yes, I've had a PlayStation. I literally bought a PS3 to play Last of Us like over a decade ago. I literally just wanted to play Last of Us, and then did the same thing with Last of Us Part 2. Bought a PS4, but I've actually been playing more games on the PS4. And yeah, God of War, really good. Dr. Magic, the way you explained horror movies for newbies was very morbid and diabolical. Yeah. I mean, look, I want to scare people. I want to make something that gets you, And you got to trick people. You got to be a little diabolical, I guess. It does kind of sound evil, maybe. Like, I'd recommend Get Out. It really messes with your mind. I mean, that's what I love about horror, though. I'm not here to laugh or to go, oh, that was so cool. It's like, no, I can watch a comedy. I can watch an action movie. Horror, scare me, mess with me. Fright Mix, that's what it was. Thank you, Buffalo. Ooh, you watched recommendations. Share your recommendations. Which ones did you like of the beginner horror films? Blake Clausen, any advice for how to get out of the writing phase for a perfectionist? Every time I write a script, I never make it because I feel it could be better. So, finish it. It's an important rule. Finish it. I'm a perfectionist as well. I think most artists are. Because what's in your head is always going to be the idealized version. It's never going to actually be reality, so you get as close as you can. And especially when you're young and starting out, you're very limited with what you can actually accomplish. So, it's going to be very difficult to tell the story in your head because of the lack of resources. The writing phase, I mean, at the end of the day, you just have to really build up the trust in yourself that you have done what you can now. And what's more important is now I actually make the film. Now I actually just do it. Because, I mean, the thing is, perfectionists, you're a perfectionist because you want to make something perfect. Number one, that will never happen. No one will ever make something perfect. And then number two, humble yourself. You're just starting out. If you haven't made anything yet, or you haven't made much, you actually can't make perfection. You can't. So accept that. But accept that it's not bad that you can't make perfection, or that, if I can't make it how I want, then I might as well not make it. No, make it anyway. Just try it. Just try it. Try making a film. Try making a simple film. Clearly you are passionate about the story. Maybe you make the film and you find out, I actually don't like making the films. I just like writing them. Cool, then you're a scriptwriter. Meet people who aren't writers but are directors and whatever. And then boom, you're in the film industry, you're working with film people, and you're doing the thing that you enjoy and not the things that you maybe thought you would enjoy, but then you found out you didn't because you actually finished it. Finish it. Because also, I mean, you know, if you're just sitting on an idea or a story and you never actually do something with it, it's very frustrating. You know, like perfectionism is a box. It can really trap you, and it's disappointing to yourself because you'll think on like, damn, you know, I still haven't made that thing. You know, I've been sitting on that script for years. I just, you know, it's like, get that bug out of your head. Just do it. Try it. Quit ruminating. Quit, you know, reminiscing or wishing. Just make it happen. Wish it, want it, do it. I think Brian Griffin said it best. Ooh, some nerd. Alternative to finish it so you can iterate. Yeah. Yep, exactly. The Neo Unknown, at Slipslop, how is Pink Flamingo scary? Divine ate literal dog shit at the end of the film. John Waters isn't afraid to back away on topics. Oh, he was just answering a question. Yeah, and so that's the other thing as well. When it comes to horror and something that I love exploring, you know, there are different things that scare people. And definitely gross out, gore, you know, the eating dog shit. Like, gross things are scary. You know, bugs to me are similar, where it's like, ew, like a centipede. Just right away, I'm like, you know. And, you know, the films that go to the extreme to really gross you out, like a actor actually eating dog shit. I mean, that'll freak you out a bit. Some people. Freaks me out. Gross stuff sometimes gets me. Buffalo. Personal favorite was The Witch, but I enjoyed your video on the Black Phone, so I ended up watching that as well. Cool. Yeah, I like The Witch. The Witch was awesome. I definitely was late to the game on that one. It was, you know, before Hereditary, it was The Witch, I think, being sort of that horror film that a lot of people saw and everyone was mixed on how they felt about it. Some people said it was the scariest film ever. Other people said, I don't know, I was bored. And then Hereditary came along and yeah. But yeah, The Witch, very good. Truth, you remind me a lot of myself. Do you suffer from social anxiety at all? I do, and would like to know what you did to break out of it. So yeah, I do. I very much do. I think a lot of us do nowadays because we are part of the online generation. I am terrified and feel really bad for the younger generations that are fully grown up on iPads and stuff, because at the very least, I remember learning what the internet was. I wasn't on the internet at age 6 or 7 because I didn't really know what it was and wasn't paying attention to it. But now you have kids that are born with iPads in their hands. So it just limits human connection and increases social anxiety. So what I've worked on recently to get through my social anxiety is, number one, I really have reached a limit of allowing it to hold me back. You know, when it comes to my perfectionism of what I do, I also very much have a harsh inner voice that is a perfectionist for myself. But the problem is that voice, I can never actually please that voice fully because the voice is a perfectionist and you can't be perfect. So all you can do is just better yourself. And for years, I let that voice beat me down. And when it came to social anxiety, that voice was tied with another voice, you know, like Inside Out. You have the different emotions in your head. Anxiety was very much in control of a lot of things. And then I had that angry voice saying, get over it. But now it's much more just on, I'm focused. I took the leap to really start going outside of my bubble and push myself to do things that I was scared to do previously, because I really realized that without doing anything, I am stuck in this rut and it's getting worse. It's not going to get better. I need to do something about it. So, you know, I just pushed myself. And what I learned as well, anxiety very much, it is all in your head. You know, like a lot of my anxiety stems from when I'm talking to people, I fear that they don't like me, and that they're judging me, you know, and all that stuff. And it's just so much negativity. And what I've learned is I think all of us actually are feeling that way. So we don't have time to actually judge other people, you know, and be that harsh voice because we're too stuck in our own heads, worried that someone else is doing it to us. And if someone is doing it to you, like it's clear, oh, wow, this person is just being, you know, judgy and rude. then fuck that person. Like, that's not a way to live life, to communicate with people. And so once you accept that it is in your head and it's not reality, you start living more in the world, the real world. You are actually connecting with people. Because if you're talking with someone, but all you're focused on is your own thoughts and you're not listening to them, you're not actually connecting with that human being. And you'll find that, you know, you're setting yourself up for failure by allowing your thoughts to flood too much. And, you know, let your anxiety work with you, not against you. Anxiety can be very useful for certain things. You know, I had so much anxiety going into The Noise Next Door, but because I had so much anxiety, I prepped to fucking do it. And I was on it, you know. I hadn't missed many things. And so I just kept going. So that's my advice is, you know, learning to accept that your anxiety isn't you. It's a separate entity. Your brain is you, your heart is you, but you can control you. You are not out of control. You can learn control and discipline, but also that doesn't happen overnight. You have to start small and build. And it's just all about bettering yourself. Wow, Buffalo, I actually wanted to pursue horror filmmaking because of you, but Midsummer traumatized me, or pretty much any work made by Ari Aster, to the point where I decided to step down on horror. That's why I love Ari Aster. I mean, unfortunately, I've liked his films less each time, but like Hereditary is my #1 horror movie of all time. And it's because he just doesn't shy away from the horror, you know? Because Hereditary, I won't spoil too much, but with Hereditary, the irony is, while it is a spooky fantasy-ish film with fantasy elements that are scary, because people, you know, will always say things like ghosts and demons scare them. But to me, the real horror of that film is the real world shit that happens. The reactions of characters to the loss and the grief that they're experiencing, and the performances that give that grief. That's raw and powerful and scary. And it's the combination of those elements that he just was able to craft something that scares me on so many different ways. And as well, the messing with the mind, not being able to trust what's going on, what's real, what isn't, I don't know. It's a nightmare, and I love it. Bobbert Sides. And he plans to continue Panic. I've been a fan of your channel for 13 years, and it's my favorite thing you've made. Thank you. Thank you very much. Panic, Keaton and I, we were in the process of trying to adapt it to a full TV show. That process hasn't really gone anywhere for a little while, unfortunately. It's not necessarily something that's in the forefront of our minds right now. It's just kind of something in the background, I guess. I have kind of toyed around with maybe revisiting the series. But, you know, I don't know. Like right now, the very frustrating thing, and sort of what I've been trying to do lately now that I'm kind of back on YouTube, because I took a 1.5 year long break, basically, didn't upload like anything other than, you know, Left 4 Dead and birthday videos. And a big reason that I stepped away was because I realized it was this toxic relationship I had with content creation and the validation through views. Which ultimately are out of my control. I can take steps now. I've understood that I can take steps to help myself with that when it comes to, all right, you know, if I'm going to make something, I hope people see it. And part of that is focusing my channel, focusing it on single topics. Okay. You know, probably not going to be uploading Left 4 Dead videos on here anymore. I'm going to make Left 4 Dead videos, but I'm going to make probably another channel to upload there. You know, my channel now, I want to define it as the filmmaker, indie filmmaker who specializes in horror. That's me. And so it's, you know, focusing on that, making videos talking about films, filmmaking, film inspiration, advice, and then showing, the fruits of my labor. Here's me, a filmmaker. I can offer advice, I can offer critique for a lot of things, but also here's what proves that I know what I'm doing because I'm actually making the films. That's always been something that's kind of bugged me when it comes to a lot of video essay people on YouTube, a lot of film critics. When you have the receipts to back up your claims, when you're saying that a story shouldn't be written this way, the performance is bad, or the film, whatever, like you're critiquing a film, it really helps when you actually, put your money where your mouth is and make a film yourself. Obviously, critics have their place. You need critics for art. But I do think, you have to back yourself up more. You can't just be a rando who's like, I watch a lot of movies, therefore I know a lot. And it's like, sure, yeah, you can watch a lot of movies and learn a lot about it, but not if you make films, I believe you more. So that's where I'm hoping my channel can kind of really find that. It's like, hey, he can back up his claims that he knows horror because he has made horror films and they're successful. So Bobbert Sides, what got you back into YouTube? Before your tips for filmmakers video, the only videos you had made were the year before. Yeah, and all of that. What got me back into it was a realigning of my focus. For a lot of I quit. I left YouTube for multiple reasons. One, I was deeply unhappy. Two, I didn't have a job at the time. I made YouTube content creation my full-time job, and it was not going well. So there was a lot of pressure and fear and anger and disappointment and sadness. A lot of shit was going wrong. And then also just personal issues as well. And I addressed them as soon as I knew I was going to stop while I was making Abby's Monster. Because it was really the tanking of views for We're Not Safe that really upset me. Because when I started making the horror films again, I had this hope. Okay, Don't Look Away. Literally one of the most viewed horror films on YouTube, period. It's massive. Far exceeds anything I could have ever done. By the way, fun fact, Don't Look Away is probably going to pass Candy Bar in views. Maybe by the end of this year. And be my new #1 most viewed video on YouTube. Which is awesome. I literally never thought that would happen. Each month the stats show Don't Look Away gets way more views than Candy Bar, way more. So that's really cool. But yeah, so I thought, hey, I can make more horror films. Algorithm will do its magic because Don't Look Away so big. And with Sweet Dreams, it somewhat worked. I was like, hey, Sweet Dreams did pretty well. It actually got some views. Nice. All right, I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna make it bigger, better. And then We're Not Safe, You're Tanked. And that was just very disappointing. And then I already wanted to make Abby's Monster because then I was more just focused on, I want to just improve my skills, but I just kind of knew nah, this isn't sustainable. I can't keep doing this and not have a job and not, blah, 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 all this stuff. And also it was because I realized that We're Not Safe Here tanking in views, I let it really upset me. And that's because the reality is, since the age of 11, I have been regularly making content on YouTube. Like I upload, a lot for most of my life. So, of course, there's definitely subconscious issues that I have when it comes to the requiring views and likes and attention for validation to, validate that, I'm worth it, that what I made matters and that people care. When the views tanked for We're Not Safe Here, it made me feel like people didn't care. And I started just not believing in myself as well, where I was like, am I just not meant to do this? Am I not good at this? And it really beat me up. But then I got a job. I got a cat. Made a lot of changes. Just reevaluated my life. And I'm in a place now where I'm comfortable. I still have my job. It is a good job. It is allows me a lot of freedom to work on my own stuff on the side. And I was writing a feature film script, for almost a year. And that was a big process. And ultimately, ended not so well. Basically, I have concluded it's still not there, and I will probably have to rewrite the whole thing again at some point, but I ain't doing it yet because I had already rewritten it twice. And then I was like, I need to do something. I need to make something. I'm tired of writing the script. I've been stuck inside by myself at the computer. Time to get out there. Time to make a film again. And The Noise Next Door just popped in my brain, and then as I'm, focused on that, then I'm like, and then the other thing as well, I was getting reached out to by a lot of viewers that are young filmmakers, young independent filmmakers, student filmmakers, and they were asking me for advice on stuff. And I didn't realize that my core audience is made up of, young filmmakers or people who are inspired to make films. And that's where I was like, well, shit, I mean, I've learned a lot. And that was the other thing. I really understood why I was unhappy. I knew that I was unhappy, but I didn't really know why. And I also just wasn't ready to face the thoughts, I guess, to really unpack it. I was just so bitter, and upset and down bad. But now, year and a half later, I'm able to look on it and reflect and improve and get better. And that's why I returned. That's why I came back. And my goal is that I continue making film advice videos, film inspiration videos, talking about filmmaking, and then as well, keep making my films, keep making horror films for now because they're my niche and I love it, and just build. And then ultimately, I would love to complete that feature film script and make a feature film. That's the goal. Tisk Zombie, thank you for the donation. Will you ever do any action sequences again, like a chase scene or something? Also, keep up the great content. Thank you. I said it earlier in the stream. When it comes to action, it's very tricky when in a professional field because safety is a must, security is a must, and especially out in LA, there's so many restrictions. I mean, if you even want a prop gun, you're not gonna be able to film it like anywhere. So it's just difficult. You gotta hire a lot of stunt coordinators, safety people, just a lot of stuff like that. And when it comes to real action stuff, what I do want to do, and I will try and start doing this with my horror films, if the idea is right, is inserting more action elements, or not elements, but like, an intense type scene like that, like a chase scene. Don't Look Away had an action scene when the creature attacked Savannah, and then Jim came over and grabbed him, and then they're all like wrestling for a bit. That was an action scene, technically. So, I would like to do maybe a little bit more of that in some of my horror films if the idea is right. JS Productions, do you have any advice for starting a film script? I have an idea for a film I want to make and the premise, but the script is the only thing stopping me. But I do want to start it eventually. Okay, you have an idea for a film, but the script is the only thing stopping me. I mean, the advice is start. Just write it down. It is a lot easier to read something and figure out what's wrong with it rather than just build yourself up to write perfection first try. I think that might be what's holding you up, is you feel like, I don't know how to do this, so I can't start. Oh, no one knows how to do anything when they don't start. You have to start. You start it, you write down just the outline, and then you expand from there. You grab the first scene. All right, what's the first scene? What's the basic thing that happens? Character hears a noise next door. Cool. All right, let's expand on that. What is the character doing? He's playing a video game. Okay, cool. Who is the character? His name's Jay, and he's like in his 20s. And yeah, okay. All right. Any other details, and you just keep going from there. You just keep building it up. And then next thing you know, you have like, oh, this is an entire scene now. Okay, cool. And you keep going. Yeah. You just got to start. Brunsy, favorite band at the moment? I have like my trio, Jeff Rosenstock, Angels and Airwaves, and 21 Pilots. Those are like my trio. I fucking loved the new Blink-182 album. One More Time. I just destroyed the replay button. Anthem Part 3, now one of my favorite songs of all time. I fucking love that song so much. So I'm very proud of Blink-182 for bouncing back. Their comeback special, that album, amazing. Love it. Let's see. Jeff Rosenstock released Hell Mode, his new album last year, and that was also a total banger. One of my favorite albums ever now. Love it. 21 Pilots, Clancy, gearing up to be a banger album. The 3 singles they released I loved. I love that they were all different, so that tells me that this album's going to be a variety album, and 21 Pilots is already very well known for their variety, and I'm very excited. So those are, like, yeah, some of my favorite bands right now. Let's see. Autobot Sonic, the Telltale Gamer. Been a fan of your work for almost 20 years now, and I started my channel back when I was still in high school about 10 years ago. It's only now that I started properly committing. That's awesome. Wow. Almost 20 years. Don't say that yet. That makes me feel so fucking old. It's been, how long have I been on YouTube? 2008. So 16 years? 16 years. In August. July. In July it'll be 16 years. Hell yeah. Okay. Cool. 16 years. Goddamn. I do want to do a 20-year anniversary special for Ghost with Camden at some point, where we watch it again. And maybe also react to the 10-year one. I just want to do it like every decade. It'll be so cool. Shinra, how do you get better at camera work? I'm terrible at it. I'm not a cinematographer, so I cannot offer full professional advice on that question. I mean, meet people who are better at it than you and ask questions and learn from them. If you can't do that, watch films and study them. Look up YouTube videos that go over cinematography. YouTube is the greatest library ever for tutorials on shit. You can learn so much, so many quick little skills. It's amazing. Bro, what, you've been making videos since I was a baby. God damn. That's crazy. I was making videos when I was a baby. Zerk, hello, I've got no questions. Just wanted to thank you for doing all those Nerf War videos that I've watched years ago. You're a legend, by the way. I really love your short movies. They're really cool. Thank you, Zerk. Let's see. Any questions in the past of the chat that I missed? Some nerd. How do you financially support yourself while you pursue such a difficult career? That is the ultimate obstacle for most of us. Yep. Finances. Luckily, I'm fortunate enough to be in a place where I am not struggling on money. I am able to spend money on my films. I'm able to afford to invest in my career. How I got there, you know, I've been making YouTube videos for a long time, and I do have ad revenue, so that has helped. It does not provide as much as I think people would assume, but it certainly helps. I mean, number one, you just have to get a job somewhere. You just have to be making money. There's lots of resources like Fiverr where you can make a side gig, you know, side hustle. Mine is voice acting. I have a voice acting Fiverr gig. I also have a photo editing Fiverr gig now that I'm hoping to build up on because I love photo editing. And another thing that I think is really important when it comes to just making money in life, passive income is amazing. Find a way to create a product or create something that then continues to make money after you're done with it. You don't have to keep doing the job in order to make money. You do it once and then it's making money forever. Passive income. You just keep making money as it's going. That's how people get rich, because passive income. They start a business, the business keeps making money, they do all of the work to get it going, and then they let other people take care of it and they keep collecting their paycheck. So passive income, very important. What's your opinion on Damien Chazelle's movies like Whiplash and La La Land? I love them. Whiplash is one of my favorite movies of all time. I fucking love the hell out of Whiplash. I tell everyone about that movie. And La La Land, I watched it when it first came out, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. And then recently, me and my friends, Spencer is a part of that. We show each other movies, so we do movie nights, and Spencer decided to show La La Land. And I hadn't seen it since 2016. And I loved it. I was like, wow, I get it now. I get it. That movie's magical. That movie just makes me feel like I'm in a fun fantasy world. That, of course, gets harsh and serious at points. But But yeah. And then First Man I need to watch again because I didn't care for it the first time I saw it, but that's also the very different Damien Chazelle movie. It goes against a lot of his style that he was building up, which I respect. He decided to do something completely different. And then I also really enjoyed Babylon. I had a really good time with that movie as well. So Damien Chazelle, definitely one of my favorite directors. I really like what he does. Am I still voicing for eBiz Charge? No, I am not. Nope. I do not work there anymore. Stephen Colbert. The fuck? The real one? Do you have Left 4 Dead 2 on PC? Some custom campaign videos could be cool. I have a Mac, and I think one of the updates a few years ago made it so that a lot of older video games just can't run on my Mac now because of like the graphics or whatever, and I think Left 4 Dead 2 is one of them, so that's disappointing as hell. Left 4 Dead 2 also never ran perfectly on my Mac. Yeah, I could get a PC, but I just don't care to. I did get to play some of the modded stuff back in the day, and that was really cool. But, you know, yeah, when it comes to Left 4 Dead, you know, the Deep Sheep crew, we just kind of like playing the campaigns themselves on Xbox and stuff. We don't really want to dive too much into the extra stuff. Faber Polychrome, I think that was another donation. Thank you. I recommend watching HG and Ultimate Minecraft Champion while high. Oh, Hunger Games. Oh, wow. That is an interesting one. That's an interesting one. Definitely it is fun to revisit old videos and, you know, not be fully present or sober while watching them just to kind of see. It's weird because whenever I do that, it's like, it's just so interesting because I feel like I'm watching someone else. Like, it doesn't feel like me anymore. Like, obviously, when I watch, you know, the Nerf videos, it doesn't feel like me anymore. Like, that's a kid. That's a kid doing it. But especially when you're not sober and you're watching something, even more so, you detach from that reality and suddenly you're just like, whoa, this kid, like, did that. That's me, you know? It's trippy, but it's fun. JS Productions, for sure. No problem. Hey, MT Doodle King, welcome. Yeah, Ian Myers is Deep Sheep now officially only used Spencer, Cameron, and Connor. So, yeah, Deep Sheep's not really a thing anymore. I guess I just say Deep Sheep because it has been the Deep Sheep Plays Left 4 Dead videos now. But Deep Sheep is pretty much done. And that's also part of what I'm thinking about in terms of focusing my channel on film and horror. Is those Left 4 Dead videos are no longer going to be uploaded there, but we still want to make them every now and then because we love the videos. And that's the important thing, is we like it. And I'm thinking of, you know, creating a place where those Left 4 Dead videos can live now and maybe changing Deep Sheep to something else. I've told a few people about the idea and I'll kind of save it because it's still going to take time to really set up. But that's something that I've been thinking about, is kind of making like a Left 4 Dead channel. And re-uploading a lot of that older Left 4 Dead content and then uploading the new stuff there as well and kind of have a home for it. Fatso the God, thank you for the donation. Third super on... Damn, you're a third now. Shit. How do you eat a cookies? Has the method changed? I really liked those videos when I filmed them. Literally, it was full improv. Camera just started rolling, and I was just like, I'm just going to say bullshit, you know, for a couple minutes. I'm definitely not in a headspace right now to improvise because I'm very tired. But, yeah, the methods have changed for sure. There's a lot more appreciating, you know. There's a lot more nuance in analyzing whether this cookie is even worth the time, you know. Does this cookie deserve the analysis that I can give, the true method and how to eat it? Or this is just some basic ass shit. You know what I mean? MT the Doodle King, excited for the noise next door. Is it gonna have a name change, kind of like Abby's Monster? No. Abby's Monster did have a name change. Yeah, it was originally called The Monster. And yeah, The Monster, yeah, very basic title. I always kind of knew it was basic, and I always kind of was like, I should change the name a bit. I wanted to keep Monster in the title because she says there's a monster in my room, and monster is a scary word. So I wanted to, keep it. And it took a while, but then finally I was like, Abby's monster, because Abigail, and it's her monster. So yeah, and it's got a double meaning as well. And that's the fun thing as well. I love making titles that are double entendres. With Abby's monster, you have the idea that it is the monster that she is asking about. There's a monster in my room, so that it is Abby's monster. But then the irony, spoiler alert, the monster is Abby. It is her, sort of. So Abby's monster is herself, and she has an interesting relationship with the monster. So there's double entendres there. We're not safe here, double entendres as well, because it's the irony of we're not safe here. But then the irony as well throughout the film is that the character who keeps saying that we are not safe here is the one that's not being listened to. And everyone else is saying, no, it is safe. So it's the question whether or not it is. Sweet Dreams is irony because you're going to sleep, trying to get some sleep, trying to have sweet dreams, but you can't because of what's going on. I guess that one's not a double entendre. That's more just an ironic title. I definitely always love my ironic titles. Yeah. And then Don't Look Away, very straightforward, actually. Very much just, no, that's a film. Which is what The Noise Next Door is. The Noise Next Door, very deliberate, straightforward title. Like, the Noise Next Door. You already know that there's going to be a noise next door. So it allows you to kind of think about stuff. Hot take. Ooh, Radioactive Ugly Reviewer. Hot take. Left 4 Dead series better than Deep Sheep Season 2. Thank you for that hot take. I love that hot take. I definitely, I'm a little biased because the Left 4 Dead series has continued, and I've poured my heart and soul into each one that I made to try and make it better, and they have gotten better. I would argue technically, yes, it is better. But yeah, that series is underrated. I really like the Left 4 Dead series. I love it. TCK27. Do you think it's unnecessary for Disney to make a Toy Story 5, even if it's a great movie? So, I have a complicated relationship with Toy Story because I really liked Toy Story 4, but a lot of people didn't. I think Toy Story 4 was able to justify its existence by having it be about Woody. It wasn't really a Toy Story movie. It was Woody's movie. Even though Woody's the main character of every Toy Story, that one specifically was like, okay, all the toys have moved on. Andy moved on because that was the third movie. But now Woody needs to move on. And that's what we got. So to me, there was a point to that movie beyond just it's a Toy Story sequel. People are going to go see it. Let's make money. So it did justify its existence in that aspect because that was always something that we thought about throughout the series is like, Woody, his relationship with Andy is his emotional core. And, I guess Toy Story 3 was trying to establish that the new emotional core is the other toys because that was Woody's problem in Toy Story 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 technically is that he is selfish. He does kind of consider himself top dog, the leader, so everyone sort of follows him and he doesn't quite appreciate them. So maybe there is sort of a dislike possibly with Toy Story 4's conclusion where he leaves. And that sort of proves that he really does not actually, that emotional core isn't the toys when it probably should be. I don't know. I think, for Toy Story 4, at least, I got the sense more that, with 3, Andy grew up. With 4, Woody grew up. He realized that he needs to move on and make his own life. So if they have a story worth telling with Toy Story 5, they could. I just don't really know what would be the next story to tell. I think it shouldn't be Woody because we kind of got our goodbye with him. But a Toy Story movie without Woody doesn't really feel like a Toy Story movie because he's the main character. So, I don't know. 33 Legion B ****. I love your enthusiasm for filmmaking. Keep up good work. Also, are you interested in any other genres besides horror? Thank you for the donation. I do love other genres. Horror is my favorite. It's my bread and butter. It's what I know the most. And when it comes to making films, it does help to start with your niche because it's easier to discover and easier for people to keep coming back. The unfortunate reality is people follow ideas and content, not the creator at first. You guys follow me, and I love that because I'm not content. I am not a horror movie. I am a horror guy. I fucking love horror, and it's my bread and butter, but ultimately I'm a filmmaker. And so yes, I will make other genres at some point, but to be easier to discover, people are going to follow horror, not me at first. But eventually, hopefully, they'll realize I like this guy's horror content. I wonder what else he has. And then there's Panic. There's, stuff like that right now that exists that isn't horror. So, yeah. Jenna, do you care about / are you excited for the Wicked movie adaptation? I never cared for the story, but I'm a fan of Ariana Grande, so I'm gonna watch it. I'm not an Ariana Grande man. And I really enjoy Wicked, the musical. I remember the trailer. I didn't like it. I didn't like the trailer. I really hated that because Defying Gravity is one of my favorite musical songs ever. It's so amazing. It's the original Let It Go, sung by Idina Menzel. And the ending of that song, she has to hit like a really epic final, push note. Like it's her triumphant rise. It's the end of Act 1. It's this climax. And I think the note, I forget what the word is, but it's where you sing a note, but you kind of play around with it and like bounce around other notes. So it's like, it's like it bounces with that. And they have the actress who plays Elphaba in the movie sing that note at the end of the trailer. But she butchers it. She doesn't do that. She like goes way overboard with it. And it sounds ugly. And I didn't like it. And I'm just like, really? Like that's the moment. That's the star moment of Wicked. And you're already showing me in the trailer that you didn't get it. So, yeah, my vibes are already pretty off with the Wicked adaptation, unfortunately. Joshua Dumandan. Dude, how old are you now? I am 26, dude. I got videos every birthday, which the 27 one's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun video, guys. I got an extra surprise in there. Because, of course, you can predict that I will be answering questions from my 26-year-old self. But I got another trick up my sleeve with that video. That'll be extra special. I'd say I'm going to wrap up the stream probably in 7 minutes. At 2 o'clock, I'm going to wrap up the stream. So post any questions you have. I'm going to try and answer some of these old ones. Ian Myers, what'd you think of Saviors, the new Green Day album? I liked it. I liked it a good amount. It was something that at first I felt a little disappointed about. I guess I was hoping for something more epic, more Revolution Radio-esque. But, upon multiple listens, I do think it's a very solid album. I don't think there is a single weak point. And especially after the garbage that was Father of All, I'm very happy that they cleaned up their act. And honestly, because I would define Saviors as like the prime version of the Long Shot, the extra sideband that Billy started after Revolution Radio, because Saviors very much feels like a callback to like 70s rock, 70s punk. And that's really cool. And that's what the Long Shot was. And I don't know, I guess he's not doing it anymore. I don't know. But Saviors, solid album. I really like it. My favorite songs on there would be the opening track, The American Dream is Killing Me. That was a great single. And then the final two tracks, Saviors and, Fancy Sauce. There we go. Great songs. Andy123 son, thank you for the donation. Hey Chris, been watching you on and off for a year. So glad to see you still posting and doing well. Heart. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. Just got done talking about your movie and your toys. Ooh, Dylan Soltis, are you sticking to Final Cut Pro for the new movie, or are you moving to DaVinci / Premiere? I edited it in DaVinci. It's the first time I've edited one of my films in DaVinci. I've used DaVinci before, and for my job that I've had for a year and a half now, I've been using Premiere. They don't do Final Cut, and for transfer of files, all that stuff, it's easier for all editing on the same program. The company has the Adobe suite, so we use Premiere. So I had to learn Premiere. I knew Premiere, but I didn't know it well, and now I know it a lot better, and I'm much faster at editing with it. And DaVinci to me is like an in-betweener of Final Cut and Premiere in terms of the way that it feels, like the vibes. So it's helped for sure that I'm so insanely familiar with Final Cut. But when it comes to data transfer and compatibility across multiple softwares, Final Cut's not the best. And I've always known that. So it's okay for me to do it when it's just my own, YouTube videos, like the Rooster Teeth video. That was Final Cut. But for my films from now on, using DaVinci, and it was tricky. I definitely made a lot of mistakes. Oh my God, there was an entire fucking mistake I made. When I set up my project in DaVinci, I'm going to nerd out on editing shit for a second. So, if you're not an editor, listen anyway. It's pretty funny. So, Noise Next Door, right? I'm editing this film, right? And it's done. I reached picture lock, which means that I'm ready to send it out to all the other post-production people, the sound designer, the composer, the colorist, the VFX artist. And so it's important that everything is set up right, like all of the files, the XMLs, all that. And when I began editing, I set my timeline resolution to 1080p because I'm working with 4K footage, but if you've ever edited with 4K footage, it's tough. Like, it slows down your computer, it gets laggy, it's just not intuitive. Like, you want to edit with lower quality footage because that way your computer doesn't have to process so much information, so quickly. So that's what I did, set it to 1080p and edited with that, this entire time. I shot the film April 20th and I finished the film and finished my picture lock earlier this week. So almost a full month of editing. I send all the shit out to everyone, and the VFX artist is asking me for there's a shot where I need something painted out, like a string, because we were using it to do a little practical effect. And he was telling me that he can't find the string. He's looking at the footage. He's like, yeah, I can't tell where it is. And I'm like, would it help if I export that single clip that I need you to VFX in 4K? That way more you can actually see what's going on, because he had 720p, I think, is what I sent. And he was like, yeah. So I go to export, I set the clip in my timeline, go over to the deliver page, go to export 4K. I got a pop-up warning. This will be upscaling from your timeline resolution because what you're trying to export as isn't the timeline resolution of 1080p. So it's going to change it's basically what's happening is my timeline resolution took my big 4K footage and made it small 1080p. And what I was about to do was now take that 1080p footage and make it be 4K, which is different. It's you can shrink data and resolution and not lose information, but if you're stretching the 1080p pixels to 4K, it's stretching the pixels. It's messing up that resolution. It's not true 4K. And that's not good. I don't want that. So I went, well, shit, okay, I gotta change my timeline resolution to 4K. I didn't know that would affect the deliver page. I thought that was purely just for playback and making my job easier. I changed the timeline resolution to 4K. Every fucking clip in my timeline was now smaller because I had set it all to 1080p, and that's what the timeline did. So I had sent 1080p, my 1080p project, to everyone, not 4K. And I was like, huh? So I began the process of manually fixing it, making every clip the proper size, and I'm doing that for hours. And there are certain shots that I do my own sort of VFX work, compositing, and it was fucked up. I couldn't just simply make it, bigger. It messed with so many other settings, and I was spending so much time trying to fix this thing. And then I realized that I fucked up. I'm about to sneeze. Wow. Okay. Anyway, I had to meditate. I was taking 1080p footage and stretching it. That's what I was doing with all the clips. So I was fucking up my resolution, ruining my movie. And I looked online how to undo all that. And basically, at the end of the day, I never quit out of DaVinci since the night before when I began this whole process of fixing my timeline. So I just held down Command Z for 4 minutes straight, undid every single thing that I did. I didn't have a project backup either, or a backup save, so that's why I had to do it this way. Got my timeline all the way back to the original 1080p, and then I found a setting that actually properly fixed it, and now it's all 4K. And that's because I didn't know DaVinci the way that I thought I did, and had an entire nightmare because of that. So, but hey, that's why it's important to learn these lessons. Thank you, Jenna. We should hang out again soon. It's been a while. Got to show you what I'm working on with the noise next door. Okay, final questions. JS Productions, what is a horror movie you're looking forward to from this year's release line? Nosferatu, without a doubt. I love that director. What's his name? He did The Witch, he did The Lighthouse, and he did The Northman, and I like all three of those movies. I'm very excited for Nosferatu, especially because he knows how to creep you out, and he's only made one horror movie. You know, like The Lighthouse is kind of horror, I guess, but it's different, and then The Northman isn't horror. Yeah, Nosferatu, I'm super excited. MCO Doodle King, question, take Star Wars episodes 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, not the original trilogy. Okay, and order them from best to worst. So, oh man, what is the worst one? It's between 1 or 9. God, fucking hate both of them for different reasons. It sucks because obviously the internet, you know, everyone keeps trying to say now that the prequels aren't as bad because the sequels sucked. The problem is, no, they are bad. They're just bad in a different way, and it's your recency bias that's pushing that. And also your nostalgia, like straight up. If you grew up with the prequels, I was born in 1997. I was 8 years old in the theater watching Revenge of the Sith. That was the best movie 8-year-old me could have watched. It was nothing but fight scenes. Awesome. But nostalgia. When you let go of your nostalgia, those movies are not good. The writing is garbage. The characters don't make sense. They are really annoying. Over-reliance on CGI. It's lame. Every scene that isn't an action scene is shot like a soap opera. It's so basic. So Phantom Menace is the boringest one. I really don't like Phantom Menace. You also got Jar Jar Binks in there, and little kid Anakin are really fucking annoying. But then Rise of Skywalker is utter garbage as well, and tries to pretend like it's the epic finale, and it's not in any way, and it's super cringe. That's really difficult to decide. They are definitely the worst ones. I'm gonna say Phantom Menace. I think Phantom Menace is my least favorite, purely because, well, no, maybe not. Fuck! Because the thing is, Phantom Menace, at the very least, the pod race scene is cool, and the sound design is amazing. And then the Darth Maul fight is really cool. Rise of Skywalker doesn't have anything. It doesn't have any redeeming qualities. No, okay, Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker is my least favorite because I can get sick pleasure in laughing at the garbageness of Phantom Menace. It is entertaining in its terribleness. Rise of Skywalker, I just feel so cynical and I hate it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Episode 9, episode 1, episode 2. Episode 2 is better than 1 to me because it's not as boring and it's like more cringe and funny, like with the love story and shit. And more action, you know, easier to dumb my brain down. After 2, episode 8. Last Jedi has some cool ideas, but overall kind of fucked up Star Wars permanently. Then episode 3, then 7. That's how I would go. But I don't love any of those movies. 7 and 3 have some redeeming qualities and don't, like, they're not garbage in many aspects. There's nothing that they really mess up necessarily. There's something to them. But they're mixed bag movies for me. Yeah. Yep, that's how I would rank those. All right. I'm going to look for one final question. I went 5 minutes over. Haha. Oh, Dylan Soltis, thank you for this, because if you hadn't explained this, I would have made the same mistake. Yep, you betcha. We all make mistakes. Lesson learned, do not become an editor. Well, become an editor if you're serious about it. Right. See you in the next Q&A. Ta-ta, Gollum. Bow, bow. That's the fun part when you can do voices like that. You say shit that, like, the character would never say. Like, The Last Jedi ruined the franchise. Star Wars sucks. Oh, did you? Yo, that reminds me of that video of one of the award shows where Gollum won an award, and he just, like, straight up is cussing at the audience. It's so hilarious. Phil, you asked, do you still have deleted footage from Panic, and will you post them on my Patreon? There are 2 deleted scenes. There is a deleted scene in the finale and a original ending to the finale. We reshot the ending because I didn't like it when we shot it. Yeah, that very different ending. Well, not very different, but definitely like, oh wow, okay, like the idea is the same, but damn, like the execution not there yet. So yeah, if you want to see those deleted scenes, check out my Patreon. But yeah, all right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me on this stream, this Q&A hangout. I'm gonna see what I make next week. It's gonna be another kind of film advice video. I got a few ideas, but yeah, thank you all very much for joining me. Thank you for all the donations too. That was very nice, very kind. And I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.